What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 5 teams for the 2016-2017 NBA season. At number 5 we've got the Indiana Pacers. Yes, I know this is probably a little bit strange, but I think the Pacers are actually extremely good this year. If they can manage to make the Monte Ellis trade for Rudy Gay, I assume it's not going to happen, but if that trade had happened, I put them in a much better state than they are now, but they're still not a bad team. Jeff Teague is an upgrade, especially offensively, from George Hill. Monte Ellis can flat out score. Paul George is a superstar, one of the best players in basketball. Thaddeus Young is an extremely underrated player, an extremely good NBA player. It's just, he's been unlucky that he's been on bad teams, but I think he's going to be very good for the Pacers. And they've got Miles Turner, who could possibly win Most Improved Player, who looked extremely good at Team USA camp, got better as last year went on, and will probably just get better and better as his career goes on. That's not where the team ends. They've got Rodney Stuckey off the bench, who can score. They've got Aaron Brooks off the bench, who can score. They've got Al Jefferson off the bench, who could possibly win 6th Man of the Year. He's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 scoring centers in the NBA. So, people counting out the Pacers, while I wouldn't necessarily say they're contenders, I would not be that surprised to see the Pacers coming out of the Eastern Conference. At number 4 we've got the LA Clippers. While they did get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs last year, they didn't have Chris Paul or Blake Griffin playing, but they're a hard team to count out. They've got an extremely strong starting 5, and they've got Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. They've got DeAndre Jordan, who's an extremely good defensive center, was an All-NBA first team player last year, and to change things up, they've got Mo Spates from the Warriors, an extremely good shooter, can space the floor, and is an extremely good scoring center to back up DeAndre Jordan. They've got a decent team. They've got a very good team, actually. But the big thing is, will Chris Paul and Blake Griffin start to play well together? Obviously you can say, oh yeah, Lob City, this and that. They have a lot of highlight plays. But the thing is, the team actually got no worse when Blake Griffin got injured. Chris Paul is the best player in this team by a mile. If Blake can learn to actually contribute to the team's wins and not just his own stats next year, then I can definitely see the Clippers being contenders. Who knows, this could be the year they push through and actually win. And the top 3 are in my opinion, any of these 3 teams could win a ring. The team I have at number 1, there's a massive condition in whether they're number 1, and I'll get to that later. And at number 3 we've got the San Antonio Spurs. The old slow San Antonio Spurs that just never stop being good. The San Antonio Spurs are just an incredible franchise. They've lost Tim Duncan, which I think even Duncan being there, not even to play that many minutes, I think him just being there would make this team my pick for the title. But with no Duncan, I don't think they're going to win, but who knows. Pau Gasol as a pure basketball player right now is better than Duncan was last season. I think Duncan averaged like 7 points a game, Pau averaged like 17 and 10, but they've still got a very good team. They've got Patty Mills off the bench, Tony Parker at the 1, Danny Green at the 2, Kawhi Leonard at the 3. If it ain't broke, don't fix it with them 3. Still, I think were they to start 3 wings in 2013, 2012? Like, they've got LaMarcus Aldridge, one of the best offensive big men in the league, and they've got Pau Gasol, who's a very underrated rim protector, extremely smart player, great passer, and fits the San Antonio Spurs style perfectly. And then you look at their bench. They got Patty Mills, dynamic point guard. They've got Manu Ginobili, who, although he is a lot older, is still an extremely good player. They've got Kyle Anderson, who's getting better every year, and they've got DeJounte Murray, who was one of the steals of the draft, and they've got a lot of Europeans that we've never heard of. Who knows, they could come good, like a lot of them often do. One thing, if they had assigned Tibor Place, that, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he decided to go to Turkey, but that 7'3" center could have been another Boban Marjanovic. The guy would have been great with the Spurs, but best of luck to him in Turkey. At number 2, we have got the first really controversial pick, and it's the Golden State Warriors. And no, I'm not going to say they've got a lack of inside presence, because Zaza Pachulia is one of the better centers in the NBA, and Anders Verjao can play. David West, while he doesn't really fit their style, is still a good player. They've got an extremely good team. They've got Curry, Durant, Draymond Green, Iguodala, Livingston, Klay Thompson. So, on paper, they should be unbeatable. Is that I don't see how Durant can make this team better. I honestly, if it wasn't those 3 games in the finals where they were poor, other than that, for 82 games and up to the finals, they were near perfect. Apart from a couple of games against OKC. The Golden State Warriors were nearly perfect last year. I cannot see how they're going to get better this year, even though they do have Kevin Durant. I don't know. This is just my opinion. I've made a video on why I think the Warriors aren't going to win, but a lot of people seem to disagree with me, and that's okay. That's fine. I know they're the overwhelming favourites, but in my opinion, the team that I have number 1 most likely to win it, and it is the defending champions, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the one condition, this is what I talk about the Spurs, is if they re-sign J.R. Smith. If they don't re-sign J.R. Smith, I put the Cleveland Cavaliers 3rd behind the Spurs, but if they do, I have them 1st. Like, this roster is just, they've got absolutely everything. They've got Tristan Thompson, extremely good rebounder, good defender. They've got Birdman, great role player. They don't have a weak player in this squad. Jefferson steps up in the playoffs. James Jones always steps up no matter what when he plays. Kevin Love, extremely good player, spaces the floor. While I think he's overpaid, is still great. Jordan McRae can flat out score. Doesn't even play. Shumpert, while he didn't have his best year last year, is still a solid defender. Kay Felder, who knows, could be an absolute steal in the draft. They got Mike Dunleavy. This guy is going to be exceptional for them next year. Imagine how many open shots this guy will get with LeBron James on his team. They've got Channing Frye, who suddenly went from being a decent shooter in Orlando to looking like one of the best shooters in the league in the playoffs because he played with LeBron. And then Kyrie Irving, who is only getting better year after year. This Cleveland Cavaliers team is just unbelievable in my opinion. They haven't really changed their roster. All they've done is added in a goon, Chris Anderson, and I say that in the best way possible. He's a goon, but he's fucking effective. He's great to have on the team. Every team would want Chris Anderson. They've got Mike Dunleavy, one of the best shooters in the league, with the team who pretty much just won the NBA championship. Yes, they lost Dellavedova, great role player, but Kay Felder slots right in there. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I think the Cavaliers are the best team in the league, but I know an awful lot of you guys are going to disagree with this, and that's fine. I'm not trying to force my opinion on anyone, it is just my opinion. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe.